Hello everyone, welcome to the new video. In this part of video, we will discuss about the command to get the disk space used by each mounted file system in Linux. Okay, a mounted file system is nothing but making a storage devices, files and directories accessible through the operating system's file system. Is nothing but if you have a network device or any other like external device connected to the system, and if you want to see the files and directories from that device, network device or any external device like USB or pen drive, so you can mount that device to your operating system as a mount point to see that files and directories from that device directly on your operating system. So to explain the same in simple words like Windows laptop, by taking an example, if you have a USB drive or pen drive, mounting is nothing but connecting the device to laptop. Once you connect, you will be able to see the files and directories in USB drive in your laptop as a separate directory. So coming to our topic today, that df command. So in Linux, there might be a situation while using Linux when you want to know the amount of space consumed by a particular file system on your Linux system. Okay, or how much space is available on a particular file system. So then we have Linux provides df command that displays the amount of disk space available on the file system containing each file name argument, right? The df command in Linux, which stands for disk free, displays information about file system disk space usage on mounted file system. It shows the total space, used space, available space, and also the percentage of use for each mounted file system. Basically, it provides a high level view of disk utilization by each file system in your Linux. So if no file name is passed as an argument with the df command, then it shows the space available on all currently mounted file systems. It's a default behavior if no file name is passed as an argument. And also by default, the results displayed in 1K blocks. So the result like sizes will be in 1K blocks. So we can use -h option to display the results in human readable, that is MB, in MBs and GBs. Let's log into the Linux system to check this df command now. Now we are connected to Linux shell using WSL in Windows system. Let's try to find a disk space utilization by different file systems on this Linux system using df command that we have discussed just now. First, let's run the df command without any options, and it will display the disk space details for all systems mounted on the Linux system. So you can observe here, like this is a file system, different file systems, and these are the sizes in blocks and used, available and use percentage, and these file systems are mounted on this location. You can go to this location to access this particular file systems, right? So here the sizes are not human readable, right? And we have options like you can use the option -k, which is same as, like, there is no difference in the output, but as because this is the default behavior of the command where it displays the sizes in 1K blocks, right? Even if you don't use -k option, the result will be same, so there is no difference here. And the next option we have is -h, which is very useful, where the results are displayed in human readable size formats like MB, GB, etc., that we can understand easily about the space utilization for each file system. Let's run the command with -h option, right? So let's observe the results again, and the same file system size, used, available, use, percentage, mounted on, the result will be same, but yeah, observe the sizes 1.8 GB, 1.8 GB, 0% on this means on this file system none mounted on this location, right? On this location the size available is like 1.8 GB and used is 0, so use percentage 0%. The whole space is available, there is no usage on this mounted file system. And you can observe the other, like here GB is there, 1.2 GB, 1% is used on this file system. And you can observe, like if you in the real time, we have application directories mounted on some different locations, and you can see which file system is taking up more space. So now we know like which file system has space issue and where it is mounted, right? Next To take action, we need to check which directory or which files are taking up more space, and then we can delete or archive those files. So to do that, we need some more commands like usage, disk usage. The command is du, right? And based on that, we can go into the directory, file mounted directory, and see which directory is taking more space and which file is taking more space. Then we can take appropriate action to clear up the space and clear the issue. Right, we'll meet in few minutes. We'll discuss about du command, right? So in case if you want to see in Linux system any file or any directory, how much space, disk space it is utilizing on the Linux system, then we have a command called the du. The du command in Linux, which is called as disk usage, is used to estimate and display the disk space used by files and directories. As I said, like if any file or any directory in any location, if you want to know how much space that particular file or directory is taking, then you can simply use the du command to know about the space taken by any file and directory. It provides a way to understand how much space different directories and files are consuming on a system, helping with storage management and optimization. So using this, you can manage the storage easily and optimize, like you can delete if any directory or any log files are taking more space on the system. If any old files, we can delete based on the size. By default, the du displays the disk space used by the current directory and all its subdirectories. So without any parameter, if you run the command du, so it displays the disk space used by the current directory and it's inside all subdirectories. If you want to print size in human readable format, like as you know, the du command displays the size in blocks or bytes. So if you want to to understand easily the size format in MB or KB or GB, then you can use the option -h along with the du command. And we can use -a option to display all files including directories with their sizes. Right, it will include everything in the directory, subdirectory, hidden files, everything, all files and directories. For each one, it will display the size from with the using -a option. And we have -c option as well to calculate the total size of a directory and its subdirectories. So at the end of the result, it will display the total, not only the individual files, but the total size of that particular directory. To print sizes to a particular level, use -d option with level number. Levels are nothing but if you are in current directory, and inside subdirectory there are levels of, like inside subdirectory there is one more subdirectory, and inside that subdirectory there is one more subdirectory. Like these are the levels of directories. So we can specify the du command to which level, how many subdirectories that we want the size to displayed in the results. So for that we can use the option -d, and with the number, like if you want to one subdirectory, you can provide the option as 1. If you want to inside a second level directory also, then you can provide the number 2 as a parameter. So don't worry, I will show you how it works in the Linux system. Let's log into the Linux and do some hands-on with this du command, so that you will be able to understand like what exactly it is doing. Again, we are connected to Linux shell using the WSL. Let's run the du command to view the disk space utilization by each file or directory. Let's navigate to some directory and cd my home directory, and let's see what the current directory. You can print the present working directory with the pwd command, right? And let's see what are files and directories available in this directory by using the command ls. And there is one directory. Let's navigate to that directory. Okay, let's see what are all files available here with the using of ls command, and we have some couple of directories and files. So we'll try to run the command in this directory to see how it works with the du command. So let's run the command du without any option. By default behavior, we can observe the size displayed in blocks, not in human readable MB, KB or GB. It's like 62580 bytes something else. And yeah, for all the directories, and at the end it will display the total calculated space utilized by this current directory, right? And if you want to know, here, let's see, yeah, here we have files directory is there, right? Files directory is there. So if you want to know space utilized only by this files directory, here we have, you can see the files directory is there. So here it is displaying everything like all files and all directories, but I want to know only the size utilized by this files directory. Then you can use the command du, and dot is the current directory, and from here what are the files directory. Okay, so this files directory is taking up 94262 bytes of space on this Linux system, right? And it is difficult to understand the size by these bytes or blocks. And we have a option -h, right? If you use -h along with this command, it's 93 MB. It's very easy to understand for us to how much space it is taking up in the system. So in the same way, so if you want to see for all files everything, I'm using -h for human readable formats, and option -a, what it will display, it everything like all files, each and every file in this directory and subdirectories. You can see in the logs there is one more file, file.txt, and in the logs one more file, file2.txt, and in the log, for the logs the total is this 62 MB, and it starts file1.txt in the current directory, and inside the subdirectories, and inside the subdirectories what are there, and apps, test, apps is current directory, and test there is inside the subdirectory. You can check that, right? Here apps is there. If you go apps, one more directory is there, test directory. This is a subdirectory for apps, right? Here there are two files, and for each, like -a option will show you all the files and directories from the current directory to all the subdirectories. That is a useful like use of -a option. As I said, like you have -c option, right? Right, so we have -c option where it displays the total calculated space for each directory, right? du -h and -c. See, it displays the total amount, total space utilized by this current directory. And you can use the option -c with along with the option -a as well. It's up to you, like. And we have -d option. If you remember, levels, how many subdirectory levels we can do that. So let's try that. -a, -d, observe without -d, and it is displaying all the subdirectories. I don't want that. I want only up to one level of subdirectory. Then I can use -h, -a, -d, 1. I'm passing parameter 1 to the -d option. So see the difference between this result and this result. These subdirectories are not included. Only one level of subdirectory is included. Right, hope you understand this. And yeah, if I pass parameter 2, then it will display the next level of subdirectory, and you can continue as many subdirectories as you can control the levels of subdirectories using the -d option while checking the disk space utilization. So we have one more option, which is -time. What is the use of this one? So if you want to check the last modified time for these files or directories, I have some files and directories, and if I use -du -h, and it will display only the sizes. I don't know when these files are modified or last time. So if you want to know -time, see, it displays the time when these files are modified, last modified. Based on that we can take some decision, like whether to delete it, safe to delete or not. If the latest files, it is not safe. It is very old files, then we can easily delete them without any issue, right? So these are the options that we have along with the disk usage space utilization for any file and directory. So yeah, that's all we have for this du command. In this video, we have discussed about two important commands related to disk management, disk space management, which is one command is a df and another is du. The df command, which stands for disk free, which is used to display the information about file system disk space usage on mounted file system. Like, it provides a high level view of disk utilization by each mounted file system. It is based on the mounted file system. And the other command we have is a du, which is called the disk usage, and used to estimate and display the disk space used by each file or any directory in the Linux system. So by default, the du displays the disk space used by the current directory and all its subdirectories. With both the commands, we have some useful and very important options that we can use based on our requirement. Okay, these are the two commands that we have discussed about disk management, and if you have any doubts or any clarifications that you need, you can post your comments in the comment section. Then I will try to reply each and every comment based on my time. Thank you. That's it for this video, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.